Hello and welcome. I'm Joly, a watercolor artist based in the Philippines, and I love painting loose, expressive watercolor florals. I'm excited to team up with Strathmore for this video series. We will explore three different brushes: the round, the angled, and the filbert brush. And I'll show you how their unique strokes come together in a loose watercolor flower. For this video, we're focusing on round brushes. So before we start painting, let's quickly go through the materials that we'll be using. We are going to use the Princeton Velvetouch round brushes in sizes 2 and 6. This is a great brush for beginners because the bristles are not too soft, they're not too dense as well, so you get just the perfect amount of control with every stroke. I also love the velvety finish of the brush handle because it has a very comfortable grip when you're painting. For the paint, we are going to use the Daler-Rowney Aquafine watercolors. This is a set of 48, so you get a nice range of colors. So they're very pigmented and also very easy to pick up from the pan using your brush, but I still suggest to spray some water on your watercolors about a minute before you start painting so that they will soften. For our brushstroke exercises, we're going to use the Strathmore 400 series. So this is a cold press paper and it's ideal for practicing and painting with different techniques. It's also a cold press paper and the thickness is 300 GSM. So for our final painting, we're going to use the Strathmore 500 series. This is 100% cotton paper and I love that it is pre-cut already, so the size is 8 by 10 inches. So it has a little bit of texture, which is great for loose watercolor florals. Let's do some quick warm-up exercises and explore some brush strokes using this round brush. So I'm just going to grab some paint. You can use any color for this exercise. We're going to use the tip of the brush and just lightly touch the paper and drag it to create some thin, fine lines. Now we can also add a little bit more pressure to create a thicker line, just like what I'm doing here. So varying the pressure in your strokes helps you create really nice petals and it adds movement to your florals. Okay, so you can also paint some nice long lines and also this thin and thick technique. Alright, so let's start again. So we are going to paint with a light pressure first, just like this, and then slowly press your brush and drag, then lift towards the end. So you don't really have to make it look perfect. This is just a quick exercise for you and you can do it over and over again. Now let's use the side of our brush and paint a loop like this so that you can create a nice petal. Okay, we can also have fun and add some ruffles. I'm going to do it again, use the side of the brush. This time we're going to go up and down to create some ruffled edges. So we can also use the tip of our brush to create some small dots like this, which we are going to use later on. And we can also paint some nice thin veins, but just by applying some pressure onto the tip of the brush. So using the shape of the round brush, we can just press the brush then slowly lift. Now you have a nice looking petal that's a little bit slender. And you can do this in different directions. So you can use this petal for flowers that look like a gerbera or other daisies with some slender petals. So what's great about painting with a round brush is that you can create so many kinds of petals. It's a very versatile brush. Okay, now let's paint some leaves and they look a little bit similar to painting petals, but it's also just a nice way to practice with your brush. So here I'm just starting with a light pressure and just pressing my brush towards the middle part of the leaf and slowly dragging and lifting towards the end so that we have a nice pointy tip. And again, you can play around, you can wiggle your brush and just observe what kind of leaf shape you can create. If you need some long slender strokes, just lightly drag your brush and make sure that you lift towards the end so you have a nice pointy tip. So using the tip of the brush, you can also create some grass effect. Just lightly flick the tip of your brush. So this is a useful exercise when you're painting small leaves like this. You just put pressure on the tip of the brush and just lightly bend it to create these smaller leaves. So don't forget to let the leaves face in different directions so that you'll be able to practice some more. Alright, I think this is a good warm-up exercise. Now let's start painting a wildflower bouquet. Okay, let's start painting the first flower. I'm just gonna grab alizarin crimson. You can use permanent rose as well. I'm using Daler-Rowney. And I'm just going to put some small dots that are very concentrated. Now let's just rinse our brush and lightly drag your brush. And just pull the color, let it go into the wet petals. And this is just a technique that I love to do. It's really good for beginners because it's very easy. So you can see I'm using different parts of the brush. You can drag the side of the brush to create a wider petal. Let me just grab some more color. I'm using alizarin crimson, and we can just put a more concentrated color in the center of the flower. Now I'm using just the tip and just doing some quick flicks just to add some flair to this wildflower. Okay, now we can add a nice stem. I'm using just sap green and just create these beautiful curvy stems so that they look like they're dancing. Let's go to the next one. It's diagonally across the first flower. So we're going to do the same technique. Put some small dots, very concentrated colors, and then just rinse your brush and drag it and pull the color from the center going outward to create a nice petal. You can also grab some more color. You can use any yellow. I'm using cadmium yellow hue from Daler-Rowney. If the darker brown, this is just burnt umber. You can drop in some color in the center just to give it some contrast. And we're doing this while the yellow base is still wet. So you can come back and just paint some more strokes to fix the shape of the flower. And now let's just create this beautiful stem. I'm using just a more concentrated sap green. You can also paint some smaller leaves and just make sure that you're making the leaves face in different directions, just like what we practiced earlier. Let's use this color called Peach Pink from Daler-Rowney. It's a very interesting color. It looks like a peach that's muted. So I'm just doing some 3 to 4 petals using the side of my brush. You can see I'm moving it up and down to create a wider stroke. And you can grab a more pigmented peach pink color and add it towards the center and also the sides of the petals just to give it more dimension. You can paint a stem as well. So here, just grab some indigo and I'm just gonna add it in the center of the flowers because I think it would look nice for more contrast so that the flowers will pop up. Okay, so when we're doing a composition, we want to change the shape of the flowers. Here I'm using the color ultramarine pink and just dabbing my brush to create some smaller flowers. So it will look like something like a lilac flower. And we want to add another color to make it look more interesting. So this is permanent mauve. And I'm just dabbing the tip of my brush. It looks like I'm stamping my brush to create these petal shapes. So now I'm just going to grab some sap green and I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. This is size 2 so that I can create fine stems. Okay, so we want this to look fluffier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some more ultramarine pink and just really press my brush and wiggle So I want this to be a very light color. So it looks like the flowers are in the background. So we want to sort of blur some of the petals that we painted earlier. We can also grab a little bit of permanent mauve and just dab it on the wet area so we get this wet on wet effect. So let's just grab indigo and mix it with sap green to create this dark green color. And I'm going to start painting some nice expressive leaves using just the tip of my brush and just lightly pressing it and dragging on the paper. So we want the leaves to face in different directions just to add some movement to our composition. We can also rinse our brush and add some lighter green leaves. So what I love about loose flowers is that you can create some unexpected happy accidents like this. So there wasn't enough mixture in my brush. That's why it created this dry brush effect on the leaf, which I think looks really good. And I do love adding some thin stems sticking out like this so that we can add some smaller flowers later on. Now let's add some fillers, and I'm just painting some smaller flowers. You can cluster 3 to 4 petals. So just use the colors that you use from the main flowers that we painted earlier. So here I'm just adding a little bit of texture. I'm just dabbing my brush to create these small dots that will look like smaller flowers. So you can just add some stems to connect it to the main bouquet. Let's paint another layer to our flowers. Just make sure that they are already dry when you're doing this. So we want a color that is about 2 shades darker than the base flower. So I'm just using the tip of the brush and just painting some thin curvy strokes. Just be careful when you're adding these details. You don't want it to look overcrowded and you still want it to look very loose. Alright, let's move on to the lilac. I'm using the color permanent mauve and I'm just dabbing my brush just to add some depth to this flower. And you can add some more greens, some more stems just to highlight this flower. So right now I'm just adding some more leaves and just filling in some odd spaces. And you can see that with a round brush, you can create so many shapes. Just like what you're seeing here in the bouquet, you have some 5-petal flowers, you have some lilac, you have some other fillers, and some expressive leaves. Alright, congratulations for finishing this tutorial. Now let's check out the other brushes in this series.